everybody, I am Danny Otto. Welcome into a special episode of That Recap Show. Now, normally I would be issuing a spoiler alert, but we are going to be talking about everything we saw from the Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer. So I think it's safe to say that if you're watching this video, you've already watched the trailer, and if you haven't, spoilers ahead. Now, with that out of the way, let's start the show.
Poppin' Off presents That Recap Show.
Joining with me to break down everything that was amazing about the Spider-Man No Way Home teaser trailer, I guess, is the one, the only, Rico.
Thwit, my dudes. What's going on, Danny?
Look, there is so much to break down from such a small amount of information, but we can't even get through all of it. We don't want to make this video like 40 minutes long. So we're just going to touch on some of our biggest takeaways, I guess, from it, and maybe make other videos in the future. But initial reactions. My first one is, I watched this a million times and I still want to watch it over and over again. Every single time I watch it, I'm like, oh, what about that part? What about this part? What about that part? I loved every second of it. And in the back of my head, I'm already assuming that stuff has been edited out of this, just like they did with Endgame and the teasers for that and stuff like that. So look, I still got hope that we're going to see 3 different Spider-Men in this, and they're just edited out of some of those teaser scenes already. But anyway, the one thing that I'm really hoping that we get, and we saw a little bit of it in the teaser with interactions of Peter Parker and Doctor Strange, is I want to see a dynamic between Peter and Strange, like the dynamic with Rick and Morty, where when Morty is trying to get Rick to finally make him like something that he wants, like an invention that Morty actually wants, and he keeps bothering Rick to make it and bothering Rick to make it, and finally he tells Rick, oh, you can't make it because you don't know how to make it, type of thing. And so out of spite, Rick makes it for him and just goes, here, take it.
You can't do it! I can do anything, Morty. Your idea is not worth doing. You can't do it. Before, what you're trying to do was called negging. Say you can't do it! I won't! You won't say you can't! You, Morty! You! Son of a bitch! So are you gonna... Yes, I'm gonna do it!
So that's what I'm hoping kind of happens with the reason why Strange is like, I want Strange to be like reluctant about doing the spell at first, and then just like Peter just bothering him until he finally does it, and he goes, here, I'll do it, and just like pulls one of his hairs out and just immediately starts doing it, type of thing. I just think that would be a really, really funny take on it. But Rico, what were your initial reactions to the trailer?
Man, we waited a long time to see this trailer, and it definitely did not disappoint. There was a lot to unfold from this. We saw quite a few different like Spidey suits in here. We saw some pretty big characters that we did not expect to see in the trailer, and we saw more multiversal madness that just keeps unraveling in the MCU over time. And I can't wait for this movie to come out, Danny.
Same. So let's get to our big takeaways. So I'm going to kick off the big takeaways with, look, is this really our Doctor Strange? There's been a ton of videos made since this trailer finally dropped about how Stephen Strange was acting a little, in lack of a better word, strange. This could be a million different factors. Like, I mean, he could just be under stress from post Endgame. We don't even know like where his mindset is after being blipped away for 5 years and being the one that basically allowed that all to happen. He had to give away the time stone to basically get into the Endgame type of thing. So it could just be him, and he's just in a weird thing. He could also be feeling all of this remorse for like Tony having to sacrifice, and him basically saying that's the only way that they can win. And so now he feels responsible for Peter Parker. And so he is going to do this spell even if he knows like this is probably not a good idea type of thing. But there are all of these other videos that are on, there could be definite people in disguise here. So one of them, and I have to say it, the biggest one, the loudest one right now is Mephisto. And I feel like we're going to get into this giant pattern of every single thing we're going to be pointing at is, it's Mephisto, it's Mephisto, it's Mephisto.
Oh yeah.
I cannot wait for that to come. Every single time I see that video, I just think about every episode of WandaVision going, that means it's Mephisto. It's Mephisto's coming, and that was always me. And I'm right back there. Could be Mephisto, but this time it's a little bit more planted into kind of our comic book days of this. There's an arc called One More Day, and that does have a thing with Peter making a deal with Mephisto to kind of erase some stuff, and it sacrifices his marriage with Mary Jane and people knowing his true identity type of thing. So that's one. Skrull could be. I mean, we know Secret Invasion isn't too far away, and we're gonna have that. So the Skrulls are gonna be taking more of a bigger role. So it's very possible that we're gonna start seeing some effects of that. So it's very possible that this could be a Skrull, just like we had in Far From Home, where Nick Fury wasn't really our Nick Fury. The last, and look, it's just gonna sound like I'm repeating myself again. Agatha Harkness and her son, Nicholas Scratch. It's very possible. I saw a video on it today, and look, I know this one is kind of out there, but I saw a video and it kind of like brought me to it, where it's very possible that this could all be an illusion, where Agatha Harkness is kind of pulling the strings, and her son kind of is impersonating Doctor Strange and doesn't know magic as well, but still knows enough magic to, hobble through a spell. But it would explain the reason why he wasn't able to get all the way through the spell, or he wasn't able to successfully do it without messing things up. But anyway, Rico, what was your first big takeaway from this trailer?
Okay, so my takeaway from this trailer, Danny, is we already know that we're going to see Jamie Foxx come back as Electro in this movie, but it doesn't seem like we're going to see him as his old blue self from Amazing Spider-Man 2. We see a big shot with a lot of lightning in it that I think is him, but it's yellow lightning. So I think we might be getting a variant version of Jamie Foxx's Electro, which I think will be a really cool twist on an old familiar character, but also giving him a reintroduction into the MCU done properly.
I like it. I mean, look, anything's possible right now. We still haven't seen Jamie Foxx's character, so we really have no idea how he's going to be introduced, when he's going to be introduced, and even like what side he's even going to be playing on. Because, I mean, if we remember from The Amazing Spider-Man, Jamie Foxx's character wasn't the worst guy in the world. It was kind of like one of those things where he was kind of pushed around so often that when he had the power, it kind of corrupted him type of thing. So it's very possible that, I mean, Jamie Foxx might end up being on a good side, especially if it's a variant. We don't know. Anyway, so last big takeaway, boom, big reveal. We get our Alfred Molina Doc Ock, which means this is the exact Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi trilogy Spider-Man. And I don't know if you read this, but they actually used the de-aging stuff on him. So he is not an aged version of this character. He is the exact character from the Sam Raimi trilogy. So we're getting the original Doc Ock. That's it. Like our Doc Ock, basically.
Yeah. And apparently the story picks off right where he is in the bay at the end of Spider-Man 2, according to Alfred Molina himself, which is a really interesting fact.
Right, exactly. So not only that is we got a pumpkin bomb, which we're hoping, and kind of a Norman Osborn Green Goblin laugh, which means we could be getting the original Green Goblin back from our Sam Raimi trilogy also, which would be insane. But I was blown away when I saw the pumpkin bomb and when I saw our original Doc Ock. I cannot wait to see kind of the introductions of all these characters and how they're going to come through, basically. But anyway, before I get into too much, let's go to predictions.
So my prediction based off this trailer is I think we're going to get a little bit of a twist here with the Green Goblin, as you just mentioned here. So I do think that Willem Dafoe's Norman Osborn will come back in some form, but I think that he's going to somehow corrupt Ned's mind and he's going to turn into the Hobgoblin in some kind of multiversal madness shenanigans that happen. Because we all know that Norman Osborn dies at the end of Spider-Man 1. Spoiler alert for 2000 when that movie came out. But I think that based off in Spider-Man 2, when he was in Harry's head and stuff like that, I think that he's going to get into Ned's head somehow, and he's going to end up turning him into the Hobgoblin. So I think maybe it's Ned throwing that pumpkin bomb into the street there during that big sequence.
I like it. I do think that would be a crazy twist that I would not see coming. I mean, obviously, I would throw back to this video, and you would say you saw it coming. But we do know that Ned in the comics does become Hobgoblin after he is. I think that's mind control, though. Like, it's not like he becomes the actual Hobgoblin, but he's mind controlled by the Hobgoblin.
Yeah, it could happen to him by Norman in this version of the MCU, though, which would be a really cool twist for the Ned character, because he's always just going to come in that like funny friend who's just kind of hung out. But if you want to give him some purpose and even more going forward, this is definitely the way to do it. And it would be a really good personal arc for our Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
Yeah, it would be a crazy twist and a crazy arc for him having to face off on his friend. Anyway, so my prediction here is, and look, I'm going to go obvious here. I think we're getting a tease for the Sinister Six. And the way I look at it is this: Doc Ock, Green Goblin, Electro, the Lizard, which is a lot of people have been saying that we see a very quick glimpse of someone slashing at Peter in the dark, and they're saying that this could be the Lizard. Sandman, we got some sand and electricity going on, and I think there's one mysterious villain to round out the Sinister Six, because that was only 5. I think the big twist on this one could be Mysterio is not dead. Mysterio has faked all of this, and he is still there. I think that he could be the leader of the Sinister Six. He could be what pulls all of these villains from multiple dimensions together, band together to destroy Spider-Man. Because now he's completely after Spider-Man. He's not trying to ruin Tony Stark's name and become like an Avenger to make money. Now he's super villain now. He wants to go after Peter Parker and Spider-Man and just destroy him, type of thing. I think we could see that. And look, I am still holding out hope that we are going to get a live-action Spider-Verse with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And look, maybe even a Miles Morales. I would love to see that, too. That would be absolutely insane. Bonus points if we get Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock in 1 or 2 glimpses, even if it's a post-credit glimpse. I think that would be absolutely insane. We already know that we're going to get him in the MCU eventually. I just think a few scenes or a post-credit scene would be a perfect way to kind of bring him in, and then he's in. And then we can kind of go on with having him as a real character. But anyway, that's what we think. Let us know in the comments, what are you most excited for from this trailer? What are you most looking forward to in either the coming trailers or the actual movie itself? And as always, don't forget, like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to hear about all of our video releases. Bye, everybody!